I know Fear Hippie here is here, and today it's time to see what appears on my YouTube. Um, so I was going through like my YouTube recommendations throughout the week, and I seen a video recommended about Salt Ness. Um, he only has 204 subscribers, but I feel like he has some pretty interesting videos. I went through his videos and I did like them. Seemed like a pretty good guy. Although he had he had some views I kind of disagree with. I kind of want to talk about. Um, so he made his video the top 10 worst perks in DBD, which I think that is actually a really good, interesting concept of what will you consider the worst perks. Um, I can't remember if it's only Survivor or Killer perks. I think it's only Survivor perks. But let's go through this and we can kind of see what his ideas are. And I'm going to see how I would compare them. And we're also going to compare them to Nightlight and see what are the least used perks as well.
And today we are going to be ranking the top 10 worst perks on Survivor in Dead by Daylight 2024. If I see you running any of these perks, I will beat the living shit out of you. Okay, maybe
I will
not
skip
literally.
through it
You
just to
shouldn't be using
kind of
these
keep
perks,
it
alright?
in mind
That's all.
and make it keep the video short.
Coming up on this list at number 10, we have the perk Hardened from Lara Croft.
That's
This
a
perk
fair perk.
activates after you complete all of the following by unlocking a chest or cleanse or blessing a totem. For the rest of the trial, anytime you would scream, the killer's aura is revealed to you for a certain amount of time, whether it's like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds. This is terrible because it's just so niche. It's like if you unlock a chest or bless a totem, 9 times out of 10, the killer does not have a perk that makes you scream. It's almost useless. It's like 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get this perk.
So Harden is a very situational perk, unfortunately, just because it depends on the killer actually having a screaming power or screaming perks. Um, I think a better way to improve it would be to actually kind of make it to the counter to the a counter to the meta right now, being that hunt Thrill the Hunt. Yeah, Thrill the Hunt is taking forever to cleanse totems, and I feel like Hardened, if you cleanse a totem, it should allow you to do other totems faster or bless totems faster. And I feel like that would be a healthy change to help combat screen builds that may possibly take over to a degree. Um, because every time you start over on a totem, or every time you scream while on a totem, you have to start the whole thing again and again. So I think Harden should probably be buffed to make it so that you don't get interrupted or that you do totems quicker just to combat some bad playstyles out
The
there.
love of God. And yeah. Coming up at number 9, we have the perk Specialist from Lara Croft again. This perk, what it basically does is each time you open or rummage through a chest, you gain 1 token up to 6 tokens. When you perform a great skill check on a generator, it consumes all tokens. Then, for each token consumed, reduce the amount of required generator progress by 2 or 3 or 4 charges. This sounds good on paper, but the fact that you have to rummage through a chest or open for 1 token, and there's like 3 chests in a single trial by default, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there is. Um, I would say this is like where I started disagreeing with him a little bit because Specialist, it may seem like it's a bad perk. However, there are builds you can use with, particularly Streetwise, Plunderer's Instinct, Appraisal. and you can even use scavenger on it is another great perk, and all those perks can kind of help combat the downside, especially scavenger, where if you use it for a while, it recharges your toolbox. However, it makes it so for like 30 seconds you're like 30% slower on gen speeds. So it can be used to combat uh, Scavenger's downside, and that gives you a side quest to do for a little bit, and then it also basically gives you a brand new part for free almost. So it's very good on preventing gem regression builds. Um, it can basically work as a brand new part on anywhere you want it to go and multiple times, and it's really, really helpful for preventing 3 gens. It's a good part. It's a build around part, but I would say it's a good perk.
You should use.
I'm glad it's not too strong, because it could be very oppressive if the numbers
Next
were
up at number
raised.
8, we have probably the most overrated survivor perk in all of Dead by Daylight. And it is Bardic Inspiration from a test tree. And basically what it is you know, pull out a guitar like while standing still and you play it for a few seconds, and then if you gotta roll like a certain number, and if you get unlucky and you get 1, you scream and nothing happens. If you get a 2 to 10, skill checks give 1% bonus progress, and 11 to 19, 2% progress, and 20 gives 3% progress. Now this sounds good, but holy shit, bro, it is not even noticeable, and also it
For a while, Barda Inspiration, it was bugged for the longest time, so you were not getting the bonus from it. So that's one reason people may not think it was good if they experienced it during that time. I believe they actually fixed it so it does work right now. Um, it's a unique gem perk is you don't get that golden bar. You just get like a few seconds here or there with your skill checks, and it does help out. I would say it mainly helps out if you're going up against a perk like Thano that slows down gen speed. And even on builds that help give you more skill checks. So I would say it's a pretty good perk. I wouldn't put it in bottom 10. I don't think.
Next up on this list, we have Urban Evasion from Neil Carlson. This perk basically what it does is that if you're crouching, your crouching speed is increased by 90 or 95 or 100%. This is terrible. You should not be using this perk unless like you're doing a meme build or you have some sort of use for it. Otherwise, it's just stupid and you shouldn't run this. And why am I saying this before all the Nia mains get mad at me? Well, the reason why is because you should be running to the generators immediately in the beginning of the match. Like if you're crouching, you're wasting time, and sure, like you might be evading the killer's sight and stuff like that, but it might be like more inclined for other survivors to be tunneled if you can't get found and take chase for at least one of your teammates that are probably on death hook. And this is just stupid. You're wasting time. It's a waste.
Okay, I will say this about Nia's Urban Evasion. Movement perks in general are very, very strong in this game for multiple, multiple reasons. Anything that gives you just a flat out buff, especially when it increases it by 100%, which is what Urban Evasion does, is very strong. Um, it's, I would say, Fitze by Nancy is a little bit better perk because it helps you out with walking speed. And people can have bad habits of use trying to stealth out when they really shouldn't be. Um, Given if you can stealth out successfully, not wasting a bunch of time, but also preventing the killer from finding you, that is a very impactful play, even though it doesn't seem like you do much there. But Urban Evasion, it's one of those perks that's good even in chase with killers. particularly projectile killers, because it allows you to duck beneath things. You can dodge Deathslinger's gun, you can dodge Huntress hatchets, Trickster blades, a bunch of different things. You can even dodge Skull Merchant drone lines, and even though it's not that hard to do now, but you can still do it, and it's a very good part. It's also great for helping you recover exhaustion. I would never put the Urban Evasion Bond in. Okay, let's see the next
Next
one.
up on the list, we have probably the biggest meme perk in all of Dead by Daylight. It is No Mither. You could probably already sense this coming.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
I can just straight agree on No
extremely
Mither. No
fast.
Mither
You
is
get
a
one hit
very,
before.
very bad perk. Only a meme perk.
Next up, we have a perk that nobody should be running at all. And it is This Is Not Happening. It should not be happening that you're running this fucking perk right now. It's fucking dog shit, bro. You should not be using this perk. This perk is horrible. And all it does is make great skill check success rates increased by 10 to 20 to 30% while injured. Now, this is stupid as hell. Because what does that do for you? Are you just bad at skill?
The only use for this is not happening is using it with stakeout, hyper focus, and I think deadline by Alan Wake. Um, just it's a full skill check build. It will help you do generators faster, and it will help you heal faster. But it's still not the best. I've never been too much a fan of this. Is not happening. Um, I feel like one of the big things about this perk is I feel like there needs to be a perk that allows you to not quite as much as technician. Um, but I feel like they should make it so the bar is a little bit longer on the good skill checks. So you have more chance of hitting it, and I feel like that would really help out with people who are on like Switch or older PCs. I feel like that would be a fairly healthy change, but I'm really not even sure if there's any way how you can make it like super strong without affecting like the rest of the game. Because if you make it where you can just instantly get skid to it, that'd be terrible. But yeah, it's a strange perk. I think I would kind of consider that one bond 10.
This perk is just garbage. Coming in at number 4, we have Left Behind. It is a build perk. And basically, what this perk does is that when you're the last survivor standing, you can see the hatch within 32 meters or 24 meters or whatever perk rarity it is. But if it's purple, it's 32.
I do love his edits right there. That's pretty awesome edit. Um, this is not, or I mean, Left Behind is not a good part, and that encourages people being selfish. The big thing I feel like I don't like the hatch mechanic to begin with. I'm always a fan of just completely getting rid of hatch if we can, or having it set that where it's in like a set location, and then making like a 1v1 a thing that happens at that point, where people just spawn at the shack and then they have to navigate to the hatch at a set destination. I'm a fan of that being used as a tiebreaker, not hatch. Hatch is a terrible tiebreaker. Um, but with Left Behind, I think the biggest thing that should be done to fix it, well, you can't really fix it, but I think the one thing that needs to happen to it is Residual Manifest gives you a flashlight, Pharmacy gives you a medkit, Scavenger gives you a toolbox. I think Left Behind should be um the part that actually gives you pardon me, technical issues here. Left Behind should be the part that actually gives you a key, and I think that would help it out a lot, make it more balanced, and then just work the hatch mechanic to begin with. But I wouldn't say that's a part problem. I'd say that's just a game problem.
in at number 4, we have Left Behind. It is a build perk. And basically, what this perk does is that when at number 3, we have one of the most useless perks in all of DBD. It comes from Ace, and it is Up the Ante. And basically, what it does is for each survivor that is alive, survivor 1 to 3 bonus luck. And all that luck does in Dead by Daylight is boost the chance to escape the hook. And that's all it does. It doesn't increase the rarity of chest items or anything like that. No. Luck in this game, like if you run like a Vigo's Jar of Salty Lips, all it does is increase the chance to escape the hook. And that's all it does. Why is this bad? Because it is almost useless, because after the first hook stage, it's useless. That luck is just, there's no reason to have it, and it's just dumb. Like, it is so obsolete to use when you can just run Deliverance or Wicked or literally anything else is better.
True. Um, so about up the ante, I do feel like that is probably a bottom 10 part right now. I don't like how people can unhook themselves without using Wicked and Deliverance. I think it's dumb that a survivor can Kobe themselves all hook. Um, so I feel like the luck mechanics overall need to be probably be changed at some point. Um, I think the best way to fix up the ante is I almost feel like it should kind of work like Bardic Inspiration, where it gives you a bonus skill check progress. Maybe not with generators, but maybe a healing or something. Um, I feel like there should be some type of numbers that go into it. I don't think it should be with items because his our part affects items. I believe it recently got buffed or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I do like the concept of it. It is cool because a hag is the embodiment of bad luck with all her hex perks, and Ace is the embodiment of good luck with all of his perks based around luck. So I think it's cool, but I think we gotta make luck more dynamic in this game.
Coming in at number 2, this is really hard for me to decide. You guys can debate in the comments whether or not this is a valid placement or not. But in number 2, I was gonna put this at number 1, but I'm putting this at number 2, and it is Soul Survivor from Laurie Strode. This perk is so fucking garbage. It is terrible. If you use this perk, there's just something mentally like
Hmm.
fucked.
I oh, I
If
guess I'll let
you're
him
running
talk.
this perk, you're either running this perk for Adept or you're new to the. Basically, just influences players to wait for every single teammate to die. It's kind of like Left Behind, but this is just bad. This is just bad. And it basically, what it does is it basically prevents the killer from reading your aura within like 70 meters or something like that. It is so unbelievably shit and like terrible. Like, there's, it's kind of like Left.
Okay. With Soul Survivor, I would actually say it's more useful than Left Behind, and it doesn't encourage a ret playstyle as much because it does hide your aura better. Um, I've actually seen it used in some games combined with Kindred and I believe Babysitter, and it allowed for a very, very impactful save that cost me um like a 2K because they were able to safely navigate to the hook, and I couldn't see them. I think I was running like Huntress, and I was using Darkness Revealed to open lockers and spam aura because I knew they were near. I just couldn't tell where they were, and it was because of that perk. So it does have its uses, and it's also very good just for like exit gates and stuff like that. Um, and it's a last survivor standing, so it doesn't have to be the it doesn't you don't have to have um all your teammates dead to get value out of it. You can use it, I believe, say if all your teammates leave through one exit gate, and then you can use it, I believe, to actually open the other exit gate quicker if you're on that. So it does have its benefits. I'd say it's actually a pretty fun perk. It does encourage a little bit of rat playstyle, but it also has some value outside of it that helps it out a lot.
Behind, but this is just bad. Going good. Okay, guys, I think I'm around using this perk, and our final perk is self care.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck,
Self
man?
care is so unbelievably fucking horrible. Horrible. Do not run this perk. This perk is so bad. Basically, what it does is that you can heal yourself without a medkit, which does sound good, but at the cost of the speed of a fucking snail. You heal yourself at 30%, like, of the normal healing speed, 35% of, like, the normal base healing speed, which basically means it takes 100 million years to heal. Why is this?
Okay, so the thing about self-care is I would actually disagree. Um, Self-care is a very, very strong perk. I would actually say it's probably one of the strongest perks in the entire game. And there's a reason it's used in the Asian meta DBD. And that reason why is because even though it's slow, it allows for any time that you would be non-productive, you can turn it into productive time. So if somebody blocks a generator with Grim Embrace, Deadman Switch, um, or like a lot of people will use, I believe, Sable's Shadows perk to help heal. Um, Sable has a healing perk that allows you to heal in basement, but it's even better than that because a lot of times basement will be blocked off by a killer, or basement itself would be a dangerous area to go into. Um, and with this perk, you can actually just heal yourself up, and no matter doesn't matter where you are on that, you just instantly start healing. You can also use it to 99 yourself, so you can have resilience, which is very useful for doing generators. You can bait people into it. And you can use it for like a bunch of different things. If you have time at the exit gate, you can heal yourself at the exit gate so you can body block for a teammate eventually. Um, it may take a long time, but it's only 45 seconds. 45 seconds is about half a gen, and by the time you're done healing, you also recover your exhaustion. And there's also perks that go along with it, like empathic connection, botany knowledge, resilience. All of those perks make it so you can heal quicker. You can also use uh, if you're focused on your exhaustion more, you can use self care, vigil, and sprint burst, so you can recover your sprint burst. I think in like 38 seconds. So it's a good perk. It allows for any wasted amount of time be turned into productive time. And that's kind of where I disagree with him most. I feel like self care does not get the credit it deserves. There can be a lot of bad players, which I feel like is his kind of MMR when he starts talking about like urban evasion and self care people kind of going into the corners and not doing anything. Yeah, because they're using the perks wrong. It's not that the perks themselves are bad. It's just the people in his lower MMR are using them wrong. Which honestly, it happens in my MMR too. I see a lot of people misuse the perk. Heck, I was playing a game the other day, and I was seeing this. they will use balanced landing, or let me take it back. They have balanced landing, but they would never run upstairs to actually use it. I didn't see them once throughout the whole entire game use balanced landing. Um, it was on a pretty good amount to use it. It was on Thompson House, and they just did not want to use it at all. So they went a whole game with only 3 perks because they didn't use that one perk at all. Um, so yeah, that was one thing I noticed.
100% of like the normal base healing speed, which basically means it takes 100 million years. Do not run this perk. If you
45
run this perk,
seconds, it's not long.
everyone on your team will sandbag the fuck out of you and just want to hate you for the rest of your life. So, or rest of their lives. So,
It gets a
make
bad
sure
rep,
to use this
especially
perk.
in the US
I'm
meta.
literally telling you for your own good. If you want to get good at this game and you know want to like analogies saying, you know, bruh, if I were to have a team,
And I will say one thing about self care is they get one of the
make
biggest
sure
nerfs
to
in DBD
only use the
history.
sector in the corner of the map. Like, bro, that's I mean, that's what all I say, bro. Whenever I see my teammates not doing gens, he's talking about the worst perks. If you guys didn't like this video, like the video and sub for more content like this. I want to do more talking videos and stuff like that. I wanted to do gameplay videos as well. Like I'm still like doing that. However, my capture card and my fucking OBS thing, like with settings, are so fucked right now. Like I'm trying to like get new PC parts, so please bear with me on that, guys. If you guys want to join my Discord server, it'll be in the description below. So if you guys want to talk with me and other people in there, feel free to join.
I wonder what his
But yeah,
Discord's
thank you
like.
guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's like nighttime, so I apologize if I never like put so much emotion into it. But I hope it was
It
enjoyable to watch. So that being said,
was enjoyable to
I'm
watch.
out
I like watching
because this is the truth,
it.
and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Okay, here, I'll give him, I'll subscribe to him, I'll give him a follow. He's pretty cool. Um, so let's actually go into the top league parts in the game. So what part? He said, I'm gonna see how I would do my list. And how would I do my list? Okay, so the least used is collect his stealth, and that's definitely a contender. Um, I feel like it has no use right now because it doesn't allow you to tell when you have it. Cut least has value. Better than new. I like it in that even after you die, you still get the benefits from it. Your team does. So that's good. The numbers are just too low. I wouldn't put that as worst. Self-preservation is actually a pretty good one for helping out with chases. Red herring. I would say red herring's a very bad perk. Ricky Spirit, very, very bad perk as well. I feel like that should be a perk that allows you to, if you hop on a generator that's regressing, you can repair it, or stop the regression really quickly. I feel like that should be the counter for Ruin. Um, Illumination doesn't help out unless you're a newer player. Why is Deadline so low? Camaraderie, at the ante, I still feel like that's a very bad perk. Blood Pet has value, Bucklet does. Steel Sight Parental. Mary does value. Helps newer players. Party Scavenger. All are actually kind of decent, I would say. Mailman's just target value from Hardened. I do feel like Hardened is very reactive value can healing can value from. You know what though? Premonition? I think that's a perk that's hard to get value from. How you spell it right? The whole. Oh, that's the perk I was thinking about earlier. That affects not healing. Item rarity. It recently got buff. It's good. Small game. The perk I'm thinking of. Auditory Warren. Well, where's Premonition? I always get them confused. Premonition. Okay, that's actually. I saw Auditory Warning for Killer, and then you have Auditory Warning for um the Boom. I would say both of them are fairly good. Okay, so worst perk. I would say Left Behind because it only gives you value for one person. Um, Red Herring does have uses. I would put Red Herring as probably the 10th. I would put the ante. I feel like deserves to be higher because it only affects luck, and luck is such a bad thing. Um, then I guess this is not. I feel like you can get value from this is not happening. It does have its uses. I feel like it's easy to get value of. I would swap those. Really. Yeah, because it's easier to get value out of this is not happen versus Red Heron. Um, Ricky Spirit, it does have its uses. It's very. It's not very good, I would say. Hardened can get value out of it. It's just hard to do. Um, Ammunition and one I would say here. Actually, I got me these down because of no mither. I feel like no mither. No mither is an active detriment to you a lot of times. And then you have that version needs to be in here. I think you can get. I would say it's. I would say that version's a little bit hard to get that value from, or easier than Red Heron. Um, what's another perk? Oh, I know it has a high usage rate, but I don't think it's good. Is Spine Chill. Just because the numbers are so low on Spine Chill right now. It has some of the worst numbers in the entire game. Um, Self Care. Self Care is the 19th most used perk in the game right now. Going up too high, I need to go down lower. Arctic. Uh, Clean Break. I can kind of get used to it, I feel like. Boys. I'm looking. say maybe. Not cut loose. I can't get a cut loose. Better than it's low numbers, but I still feel like it's a good design. Um, Struggling for a next one. I guess I'll get self-preservation. I'll have to. Let's see. I feel like you can still get a bunch of value out of self-preservation, though. Self-preservation is one of those perks where it helps you in a lot of different chases. It's very has a lot of utility. It goes well on most builds. Any type of build revolving speed, it goes good on. I'll kind of go talk about that a little bit more. Okay. Let's see. There are more changing of them. I say no mirror is probably the worst part in a game because it gives you extra detriment. Left Behind, it doesn't have much utility other than finding hatch, which is bad mechanic. Fine Chill is very noticeable. I would say it's more useful than Up the Ante, but they're still pretty close because they're barely noticeable. Red Herring does have its uses. It's just one of the hardest uses to get out of the game. I would say it's more difficult to get that Red Herring than Hardened. Ricky Spirit, you can get more value out of it. It's good for newer players, but that's about it. Um, that version I feel like is that version I do think is probably a little bit better. Um, or I feel like Ricky Spirit is probably a little better than that version because that version it's a little bit more challenging to get value out of it. At least with Ricky Spirit, you can find the gens. This is not happening. You can get value out of it on the stakeout hyper focus build, but that's about it. And then self preservation, you can flat that on. Well, then I'll be. Um, but yeah, those are what I kind of would consider like the worst 10 perks in the game. I think they definitely need some reworks. Maybe. Uh, I'm not sure how you would rework them. Wait, I don't even get a collective stealth. Oh, I think I lost one. I would probably pick collective stealth at 5 and then move the rest of them down. But yeah, I would say they're at some of the weakest parts in the games just for various reasons. Um, I will release this video here pretty soon, and I'll get in touch with that and I'll see what his input is. I know I kind of all over the place, but also late at night, and it's like the last video I'm making tonight. So I hope everybody has a great and wonderful night. I will see y'all in the fog. Good night.